Because if you were doing something right, he'd still be a regular guy that caused a lot of noise, which I truly respected. Right? He's the biggest star in the world. Like they're talking Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, Ronda Rousey, Cody Rhodes. Like he wasn't in that conversation 47 days ago. Like for a guy to leave on such ill terms as he left, and for 6 years go out, do something else to the point where it became valuable and worth something, to where all the heads of an organization, the one who makes the decisions, the one who's in charge of creative, and the one who is in charge of finance, was all on the same page saying, we're coming to get you and everything that you bring to the table. The things that he wanted to do before that they said, nah, we're going to keep you right where you're at. Ironically, they gave him the Dusty. The irony.
Yeah,
right?
it.
And then he comes back and he goes, they let me be myself, and now I'm one of the biggest stars in the world. How? That's the most. He said he's made it very clear. They're paying me a ridiculous amount of money. They've given me a bus. Do you know how important that bus really is?
Oh yeah. Especially if you got a family.
See, we got to go a bit deeper because this is the realm. When you go back to the promo that Dusty Rhodes cut on his own son about being dashing, he said, you wrestlers have lost what this business is really about. He said, and all for what? He kept saying, oh yeah, for a bus. Like, while you out here being dashing, the Miz main event WrestleMania, that promo that Dusty cut was all about his son. You need to refocus, right? You know, because everybody knows that you're a top guy. The CM Punks, the Big Shows, the Randy Ortons, the John Cena's, they got those traveling buses where they can, you know, rest and get themselves together for those long trips, and they're not responsible for, you know, their own travel when it comes to these to living this type of lifestyle.
Right.
And now the one who left 6 years prior on his own terms is being pulled back into the circus, and they're saying, no, you're one of our main attractions. And he's like, that's all I've ever wanted. How do you go to your own company that you helped create and you're not the top attraction?
That's weird, right?
I mean, listen to me. They left Ring of Honor. See, now I'm ready to get into my stuff. They left Ring of Honor because they had no control over what they wanted to do, and they did All In. They said, we want to do something our way because we feel like we can be a bigger draw. If Ring of Honor believed in themselves with the cards they had in 14 and 15, they could have easily did a 10,000 person arena, because All In did it with less talent. Because if you look at who was on between the rosters of New Japan Pro Wrestling and Ring of Honor in 2014 to 2015, come on now, they were all there. Everybody that made NXT, everybody that's in NXT or Ring of Honor right now, Impact, that's of importance, they were all in Ring of Honor or New Japan under the same roof at one point in time, right? They built the foundation on believing and betting on themselves. So you start your own company, and all of a sudden you begin to lose control because creatively you're not seeing eye to eye with the guy that's paying the bills. You decide, okay, well, you know what? I really don't want to be an executive. I really only want to be a professional wrestler. I wanted to live my own legacy while living out my father's legacy, and I believe in myself. And what did he do? It paid off big time, because now he's one of the biggest stars in the world off of one night. It took one night and then a day full of interviews. One Brian East got the first one. Like, that's in history now.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, that moment by itself will carry that weekend, and like all the way into WrestleMania history. It goes into the vault. And that's one moment. We haven't talked about Triple H landing his boots in the ring. We haven't talked about the exchange between Ronda Rousey and Charlotte. We haven't talked about the matchups between Brock. Like, we're talking about Cody Rhodes in one space.
Did you ever think we'd be talking about Cody like in the A's before we really got into Austin?
Not in this capacity.
Triple H.
There's no way in the world. Not in this capacity. Not in this capacity. Not to mention, after Cody Rhodes had that moment, Kevin Owens and Stone Cold Steve Austin had a full-fledged match. Like, come on, man. Like, when your card is climbing like that, it's like, yo, you have a recipe for something great. Whether you like it or not, if you experience that moment where you were, you can go back and critique it all you want now. You know what I mean? Be a Monday morning quarterback. But in that moment, in that space, during that time, come on, man. Those are memories. Those are moments that will last a lifetime. Those are moments that go down in history and it completely derailed any other momentum that anybody else thought they were going to create that weekend going into WrestleMania. You know, because most people book around WrestleMania to try to, you know, capitalize on that global wrestling audience, which is a smart business move,
Mhm.
right? But I mean, it just, man, we could, like I said, we could end up doing a
I
whole
forgot
show.
Samoa Joe had returned.
I mean, but see, that's the whole point, though. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, and that was not a small moment. You know what I mean? And that's not to what Brian they said. That doesn't downplay Samoa Joe's return to Ring of Honor inside of AEW, because Joe was still a big deal. But the fact that it didn't even measure up to what happened was exactly what Paul Heyman made. He said, "Look, they're not going to be able to compete with what we're about to do." He made that comment maybe a day before Mania happened.
Oh wow.
He made that comment like, "Look, man, I appreciate what they do, but there's no way in the world they're going to be able to." Because Tony Khan, I guess, made a comment about something, and Paul Heyman said, "Man, they're not going to be able to compete with anything we're about to do this weekend. Just wait." And he was absolutely right. And it's like, how can you? There's not. You have thrown every weapon out there. You have shown your whole arsenal. You got nothing left in the bag. You got all your major guys and all your needle movers. So if John Cena or Randy Orton themselves don't head over there, you're in trouble.
We had the most stupendous WrestleMania. I mean, you know, like you brought Randy Orton, him kicking off night 2. Him and Riddle.
Such an unexpected spectacle.